Cool things you can do with Yamaha CLP-535 Clavinova. Welcome to Cunningham Piano. I'm Hugh Sung. The Yamaha Clavinova line of digital pianos is world-renowned for their durable builds and incredible expressive capabilities, and the CLP-535 is no exception to that. In fact, with this instrument, you really get some amazing capabilities just on the pianistic side with regard to tone, touch, and even the subtle pedaling capabilities. You can do half pedals, you can do gradual pedal shaping of the sounds, and even capture the sounds after an attack. The strings, the string sympathetic vibrations are simulated very, very accurately here in this instrument. So you get a wonderful piano, the digital piano in and of itself. But I suspect that most people are only scratching the surface with an instrument like this, and I'd like to take a moment with this video to explore some of the more advanced features and capabilities and cool things that you can do with the CLP-535. The Yamaha CLP-535 comes with this sliding lid cover, which protects the keys. When you open it up, you have the power button here and the volume slider over here. And as soon as you turn this on, you are presented with the Yamaha CFX Concert Grand sound samples. So really lovely instrument. Okay, lovely. And of course, you have the option of selecting from several other piano options. For example, if I press this piano key, I can just cycle through the different instruments. This is a Bösendorfer piano sample. And of course, if I keep doing this, there are other sounds as well. A bright piano, a little mellow grand, a warm grand, a pop grand, so on and so forth. Here's a jazz grand. So a lot of wonderful capabilities. And there's a rock grand here. Okay? So right off the bat, the piano sounds are lovely. And by the way, as I was mentioning in the introduction, there's some really advanced pedal capabilities. For example, I can take a sound and I can use my pedal to shape the sound off. Get this, I can also capture the sound. I don't know if you saw what I did. I can play the sound. Now with other digital pianos, if I just play it really fast and then put the pedal down, it's not going to do anything. But here, if I catch it fast enough, I can catch the after effect of the sound with the pedal. Very, very cool. So it really simulates what an acoustic piano does very, very nicely. Sympathetic string vibrations, I can do things like hold this down and I don't know if you can hear this, the vibrations of the upper octave are replicated. So it really does a lot of the same acoustic string, sympathetic string vibrations that you would find in an acoustic instrument. So Yamaha's taken great pains to try to replicate an acoustic piano experience in the CLP-535. Of course, you have a whole variety of electronic piano sounds as well. Okay, an organ sound. Strings, bass sounds, and then you have a whole selection of other instruments as well, like the harpsichord. And if you cycle through, there are other instruments as well, like a vibraphone. Really, really lovely. Here's some guitar sound. So on and so forth. Here's a steel guitar. So you can see there's a nice variety of sounds right off the bat with this instrument. You can have a lot of fun just doing those things. Now, I want to get into some more advanced features. Let's get back to our piano sound over here. Okay, and what I want to look at are ways that you can actually layer your sounds. What do I mean by that? Well, take a look. We're going to go into the dual and split button, and we have a couple of different functions that we can play around with here. If I click this once, right off the bat, by default, I can have two voices playing at the same time. I have a CFX Grand and a string sound linked together. It sounds like this. A lovely little sound. Okay? And of course, I can change that if I want to. So for example, if I wanted to change the C, instead of this top voice being a grand piano, the CFX Grand, I could switch it perhaps to a harpsichord. Okay? Or let's go back maybe to a piano. And now if I want to, I can use these directional buttons to go down to voice number 2. And here, instead of strings, if I want, I could perhaps do a bass sound. Kind of hard to hear. Let's do something else. Let's do an electronic, let's do a vintage EP. Pretty cool. So you can hear, we can layer in different sounds together. I think I would actually like this vibraphone together with the grand piano. So you can start to explore different sound combinations together. All right, so that's the dual mode, two voices playing at once. Now if you press this again, if you press it 2 times quickly, then you have an interesting option of a split voice. So what I mean by that is the right hand will have the sound of one instrument and the left hand can have the sound of another instrument. So now we can have and the split point is usually going to be this F sharp over here, okay? So any of the notes below this F sharp and below will be the second instrument, and anything above that will be this instrument. So it's great to have almost like a band sounding under 2 hands. Now there's some really cool options that you can do. Of course, you can select, again, with the 2 voices, you can change what the top voice is. For example, if I want to, I can either press the piano key a couple of times, or I can do the right directional key and cycle through that instrument's category. So for example, if I wanted to do, let's see, a rock grand, okay, and from the bottom I can cycle down with the down arrow to go to the lower voice. And let's say instead of an acoustic bass, I want to cycle through and do a bass and cymbal. Kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah. So again, any combination you want, you can do. And again, using the directional arrows, you can select whether you are changing the top voice. So if I want to change this to, I don't know, harpsichord over here, or maybe we'll even do a guitar perhaps. Here's a steel guitar. Okay, and then go down to here, and maybe perhaps change this to, oh, I don't know. Let's change this to strings. Okay. All right. So any combination that you can do to layer 2 different sounds. Again, thinking of the split point from this F sharp up, and then this G up and the F sharp down for the 2. So that's a quick look at the split capabilities of the CLP-535. Now, I want to have some more fun with this. You can also, of course, record, let's go back to a piano sound. I'm going to get out of this mode and go back into single mode by pressing this again. I'll go back to my piano sound. I'm going to switch back to the CFX Grand. Oops, let's go back to this. Here we go. Okay, so back to our CFX Grand. Of course, it comes with some basic recording capabilities. So if I want to, I can record a song by pressing this record button. Now it's waiting for me. I can either press this to start recording, or I can just start playing. Okay, stop that. And I have the option to save this, or I have the option to retry if I want to do it again. Again, these directional arrows can show me with this little .lcd screen all the options that I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and save it by clicking on the right arrow over here. All right, now it's saving to the user over there. By the way, there's an option to save it either to the internal memory, or if you want to stick a USB thumb drive, there's a USB port underneath here that you can also use and save your songs directly to your USB drive and then transport that out and put it to your computer or send it to somebody else, whatever you'd like to do. So now we've got a user song over here. I can play back. Terrific, okay? So instant record, instant playback. That's nice. Now, what if I want to do something else? There's also the capability of recording multi-track. Now, what is multi-track recording? It's quite simply, it's the ability to record multiple voices over each other so that you can maybe just play one voice at a time, record it again, and then start layering multiple voices on top of each other, one on each channel. There are up to 16 channels that you can record with on the CLP-535. Let's take an example of playing around with this feature. So to do this, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and erase this file. If I want to do this, I can go to the menu option up here, okay? And of course, I'm going to cycle down a little bit. And we're going to go into File over here, Right, okay? See, I can either copy, move this, or I'm going to delete this in this case. I'm going to hit the right button to select that option. It'll ask me if I want to confirm that. Go down to Execute and write again, and then now it's being deleted. So we're going to create a new song file here. I'm going to overwrite that, okay? Great. So now what I want to do is I want to record a new song, but before I do that, I want to actually set a tempo, okay? I have a metronome option here. By pressing the metronome, this metronome comes on. I'm going to escape out of this view. Let's go back to our piano view over here. There we go. And then we can kind of see our metronome options a little more clearly. Let's click on the metronome button again. And here again, using these directional arrows, I can change the options. What I want to do with this metronome actually right now, let's do this again, and go up. And I want to change to a 3/4 time. And down here, I want to change the tempo, and you can use the left and right arrows. I want to go a little slower. Maybe that's a pretty good tempo. Let's do about 72 or so, okay? Great, so I've got my metronome set to 72. Now what I want to do is I want to select a new instrument. I'm going to do a bass sound. I think this acoustic bass will be great, all right? And now I want to record the first of multiple tracks, okay? I'm going to press and hold the record button. Press and hold, all right? It's going to be a new song. Right-click, all right? And now I have the option to just start playing if I want. I've got my metronome going. What I'm actually going to do is this. I want to specifically have my bass on my left-hand track. So I don't know if you can see this, but I have left and right. Right now the right has a square around it, which means the right track is being selected. I'm going to use my down arrow key. Now I have the option to select between tracks. I'm going to go to the left. Now my left track is selected, okay? Now I can just start playing if I want, or I can hit the play and pause. I'm going to go ahead and just start playing. I'm hearing my metronome. 1, ready, and. Pretty basic, but that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and hit stop over here. Okay, so pretty boring all by itself. Let's go ahead and click on the right to confirm that I want to save this. Now it's being saved. Okay, so I've just recorded the first layer on a left track. Press and hold the record button, and now I've got the option to either record a new song or record on top of the user song number 1. You see that? I'm going to go ahead, scroll down to here, go to the right. All right. Now, if you'll notice, the L has a little dot next to it, which means I've already recorded something on that track. I have the right track selected with the square around it. And in this case, I want to change the instrument, okay? Let's get my metronome back on. I want to change to a piano. And this time, because the bass is starting, I'm going to have my piano come in after the bass. I'm going to press the play and pause button to get it started. 1, here we go. And I'm going to get myself ready. Okay, great. So I've got that much recorded so far. Again, right-click to save this. Okay, now that's being saved on the same song that we just recorded. This is still user song number 1. Let's go ahead and play that back just to hear our layers. Okay, great. 2 different voices recorded 2 different times, played together. Okay, now I'm going to choose one more voice to record with. I'm going to go ahead and select, I love this vibraphone sound. Okay, so that'll be my top voice. All right, now let's go ahead, turn our metronome back on. Okay. I'm going to press and hold that record button to get this option going. Press down to the user song. Press right to confirm that. Okay. Now I've already recorded on my left track, my right track. You can see the 2 little pips on top of those. I need another track to record my 3rd voice. Go down. And now I'm going to go to the right. Now here's my extra 3rd voice. You can keep scrolling to different voices, up to 16 channels. But this is my 3rd channel I'm going to use, and this is what I'm going to record the top vibraphone sound with. Okay? Press the play and pause. Here we go. Now my melody comes in here. Cool. Stop that, and as soon as I hit the stop, it'll ask me to confirm if I want to save it or if I want to retry it or cancel it. Let's go ahead and save that. I think that sounded pretty good. All right, let's hear our multi-track masterpiece. Now I want you to notice something. I'm going to play this back. You're not going to hear the metronome. That's really cool. So the metronome has helped me stay in time during the recording, but you're not going to hear that annoying click on the actual performance. How cool is that? So, if you can play this all with, just 2 hands, great. But if you want to explore playing more complex music, or, if you want to just put your own compositions together, a note at a time, a line at a time, the multi-track recorder is a great tool to really unleash your creative possibilities. So I hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at some of the more advanced features of the Yamaha CLP-535. Far more than just a lovely digital piano on the surface. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments section below. And be sure to sign up for our newsletter so that we can let you know every time we have new videos and new articles. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Hugh Sung for Cunningham Piano, and I'll see you next time.